What's going on, guys? Savage Reptiles here. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Today I want to go over when you should be handling your new blood python. So my average time frame that I would give myself once I'm buying new bloods would be about 7 to 14 days total. So from day one, once they get there, they immediately go into their setup, whether that be a tub setup or a rack system or a enclosure. But from that point, I give them about 7 to 14 days. Now, Hera, she was supposed to get 14 days before I started handling her. She got 8 days before I started handling her. On her 8th day, I handled and fed her, but that's only because she showed me that she was ready. So typically within that 7 to 14 day time period, they're burrowing underneath the substrate the entire time. On day 8 is when I noticed that she was literally like her whole body was sitting above the substrate and she was just exploring her enclosure, which I'm like, okay, day 8, that's pretty soon. But, she's kind of showing some signs that she's ready to, explore. So I'm like, okay, I was going to wait 14 days, but I'm going to go ahead and, give in. At that point, it was already past day 7, so I'm like, why not? Handling session, first one, it went very well. Again, it was 30 minutes of pure chaos, just trying to pull her out without her biting me, of course. Again, I don't mind getting bit, but if I can take some steps to prevent it, I definitely will. But yeah, it was just about 30 minutes of pure chaos. And then once we got here, it was still, it was a time to try to get her to calm down. But once we got to that point, she's just like this guy here. And you see how I'm holding this guy. I'm supporting his whole body. He's chilling. He's content. He's chilling. So with these guys, since they are a heavy body snake, and he's the biggest blood I've got right now, you do have to support their entire body. Just so I'm going to demonstrate. I'm not going to do it for long. But they're not very active, so you don't want their whole body just hanging. You want to give them that support, kind of cradle them like a baby. But about 7 to 14 days is the time period that I would go. I've seen people who say you can treat them like ball pythons, give them 2 or 3 days. That's just a bit soon in my opinion, just because they are a bit slower. Like with everything that they do, their shedding cycles is a bit slower. You feed them not very often, not consistently really. Like ball pythons, you would go every 7 days. This guy eats every 14 days, and the more he grows is the less he'll eat. So he'll go from every 14 days to every 21 days to once a month to once a month and a half, and then to every 2 months. Just the bigger that he grows, and then the bigger the prey item that he eats as well. So again, the 2 to 3 day time period, I mean, if you're just a person that you just absolutely can't keep your hands off of your snake for that long, I mean, why not, right? But to go the smartest route possible that I believe, I would go ahead and wait that full 7 to 14 day period. Again, you do not want to stress these guys out. I know it's hard leaving such a beautiful snake alone. I really do get that, especially being newer in this space and having 3 of them now, which is also where I'm getting into next, to where you can kind of make sure, again, if you're just that person that you can't keep your hands off of your snake, you can kind of rotate the handling cycles throughout your snakes, right? So if you want to have a snake that you can hold every day, but all you're dealing with is blood pythons, don't feed all your snakes on the same day. So Hera, I got a rat defrosting behind us right now, and she's the only snake that's going to eat today. And today is Tuesday. Brock ate on Friday, and this is our first handling session since then. So it's been 4 days total since he ate. He ate Friday night around 9 p.m. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's about 4 days. But it's been that long since he's ate, and he's not eating again until next Friday. Not this Friday, but next Friday. So Hera, she'll eat today, and then I'll give her 48 hours to digest. So that means our handling will probably pick back up Friday evening to early Saturday morning, sometime up in there. But Leviathan, he won't eat until Friday, but he'll also have 48 hours to digest. So while he's digesting, I can still be handling this guy, and I can also be handling Hera. So again, if you're just that person that you just can't keep your hands off of your snakes, don't feed all of them on the same day. So feeding them on rotating days definitely can be quite tricky, and remembering stuff like that. So there is a app called Husbandry Pro that I use for almost everything. When these guys shed, I mark the sheds down, and I also collect their sheds as well. I'm not sure how many of you guys collect sheds, but I keep all of their sheds. So far, he's had one, Leviathan's had one, and Hera, she hasn't done it for me yet, but I will be saving all of theirs. I'll mark down sheds, I'll mark down feedings. Whenever I change the water, which is every other day, I don't do daily water changes, I'll do it every other day. I'll mark water changes. Whenever I clean out the entire enclosure, sorry, I couldn't get that out for some reason, I'll mark those down as well. You can also track the size of the rodent that you're feeding these guys. So Brock here, he is eating a frozen thawed medium rat perfectly, but that's also in the app to let me know how often he's eating it, the size that he's eating, and the days that he's getting fed. And it's the same with all of the snakes. So if you are gonna feed on rotating days, just so you can kind of get a bit more hands-on with these guys, definitely download Husbandry Pro. I will try to leave a link of it in the description in this video. I'm not sure if I'm at that stage yet on YouTube, but I'll definitely try that. But yeah, Husbandry Pro for everything. So to wrap this up, I say personally 7 to 14 days. Look at this guy. This is a beautiful snake, man. A couple people were asking me his morph. So when I first got him, I reached out to a couple people, and they were telling me that he was like normal or possible matrix. And after seeing a couple matrix specimens, you good, bro? Yeah. After seeing a couple matrix specimens, I'm like, this cannot be a matrix. So I went on Instagram and I was just looking at some other bloods just to see. Hang on, let's. Man, that's crazy. Right. But I went on Instagram to look at some other bloods that were colored just like him. And when I first got him, his head up here. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. He's fine. But his head on top was more gray. And I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick it up. But as he's growing, his head is definitely getting quite a bit more red. So I reached out to some people that work with morphs like this, and they told me that he was a redhead martyr VPI stripe. Now, to my understanding, that is one of the rarer morphs that you can get into, and you know, for him to be my first blood, that's nuts to me. But that's the morph he is, or that's the morph we believe him to be, a redhead martyr VPI stripe. But he's been doing fine, and he's also been doing very good with like the routine that I keep them on. Like I just went over, rotating feedings, and you know, scheduling out your handling days. That way, you know, every day, if you again just gotta like me, I'm the guy where I like to get hands on with these guys. Now that I know that they aren't, you know, what they're perceived to be by a lot of people, unfortunately, I definitely love to get hands on with my snakes. So again, you know, every 7 to 14 days for a new blood python to acclimate before you start holding them. And then after that, I believe everything is good to go for feeding and handling and other than that. But other than that, take care of your reptiles.